to order. We'll start with the roll call, please.
Good evening.
Chair Lane,
Here.
Vice Chair Lamb,
He's going to miss this meeting.
Absent.
He is excused.
Commissioner Narensec,
Here.
That's you, Perry.
Commissioner Lerner,
Here.
All right.
Commissioner Conce,
Okay, we're three. It takes two-thirds of us to be able to make this work. So, yes,
In order to approve a project, it would need 3 votes for yes
because it has to be majority of the commission as a whole.
of the entire commission, correct?
Okay. That isn't the way it used to work, but okay, I'll do that. All right. Then we'll go ahead and then we'll start with the minutes. And there were some approval of minutes, public comments. I'll start with the public comments. Public comment section of the item number 2 is public comments. That's for something that would be not on the agenda, but sometimes people bring something up to us to look into or to follow up on, or just information that we should know. So with that, I'll go ahead and open up the microphone or the cameras for anyone who'd like to speak for something on the agenda, off the agenda. Nothing, I don't see anybody rushing to the microphone in the room. Then I'll go ahead and close the public comment section on item 2, and now we'll go with the minutes. I did find some things to change on the minutes. All right. There's at least 3 instances where the commissioner says something and then it wasn't explained why. So let me just go through on the public hearing comment. Well, the first one, Chair Lane made a motion to move item 4C December 14th and asked to have a second. It didn't clarify why that move was happening. I think it should for the minutes purposes. So it should. So I wrote applicant and town needed more time to discuss item. All right. So that's a model. I would update it that. All right. There's also on and this is a good example of why the item numbers are so important, because I can't tell you where it is, except I have to go down to where it is on the page. On the page where it talks about motion by planning commission, where it talks about the vote being 5-0-1. Either we picked up another commissioner or it should be 4-0-1. See what I mean? On the 51 Fair Oaks Drive motion, should be 4-0-1. Right, unless everybody showed up. Did Gabby show up for that vote, or did she not?
For the first item.
She was not there for the here.
There was one commissioner, that was absent.
Gabby was not there for the. All right, good. So 4-0-1 then should be corrected on the meeting, right? All right, and then item number 6 on the commissioner's reports. It says Commissioner Lamb wanted to know how many projects are still under construction, and their staff answer, I think, was to go back and look it up or to get some more information on that.
Yeah, because CPO
Yeah.
had.
Right. So, but that should be in the minutes. It should say staff said that they would follow up. And then Commissioner Narensec wanted a proper calendar invites for the agenda. And then whatever the status was, that should be on the minutes too.
Okay.
All right. Because if anyone who missed the meeting, we want to know that they were addressed rather than just sort of dangling out there. Okay. Anyone else have any updates for the minutes?
No.
All right, I'll move the minutes as amended. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Chair Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lerner,
Yes.
Commissioner Narensec,
Yes.
All right, good. Could you turn the volume up on the speakers in the room? Can you do that or not?
I think I can.
All right, good. Then what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the public hearing items, and we'll do the same procedure for all of them. What I'll do is go over what the procedure will be, and then if I see anybody pop up later in the meeting, I'll go over it one more time. So if you hear it again, that's why. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to start every item with an overview from our staff. And they'll give us an update on the things that have gone on the project and what we need to know about it. Then we'll have questions from the commissioners if there are any to staff. And then we'll open up the public hearing for the applicant or their applicant's representative. And then we'll open up public hearing and we'll start with the applicant or their representative. Then we'll listen to anyone else who wants to speak on the item. Then we'll close the public comment and bring it back to the commission for discussion and action as appropriate. We'll do that on every one of the position of the items A through F. So with that, we have a continued item from the October 26th meeting with a request for the appeal of the building permit for fees and penalties, the construction timeline for the new residents at 78 Shearer Drive. Can we get an update from staff? Then we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you, Chair Lane. I'm going to share my screen and walk you through the item the first item on the public hearing. The item is for an appeal to the building permit BP 17 for requested refunds to the fees and penalties of the construction timeline for the residents at 78 Shearer Drive. Staff had brought the Planning Commission report on October 26th. The chief building official is with us tonight to speak more about the project and its history and the timeline. Tonight, the staff recommends that the Planning Commission conduct the hearing and approve a partial refund based on the evidence and based on the revised memo that the chief building official has provided for our review tonight. The recommended request of the refund was for the entire amount of the 250,000 amount that was the penalty that the applicant had to pay for exceeding the construction timeline pursuant to the Atherton Municipal Code.
The request is for the.
The request is
Okay.
for the entire amount,
Right.
correct? The chief building official's memo is in front of us right now, and his position on this project after pursuing the evidence sent to him by the applicant regarding the structural steel and metal fabrication delays that they had to incur, which was not a fault of theirs. He has made a revised recommendation rather than denying the appeal of the entire amount. He has recommended that he has approved a partial refund of up to $121,000. I would like to hand over the mic to Mike Greenlee, who is with us tonight, to speak more about this project and its history. We also have the applicant who can speak to this request.
All right, so we'll hear from staff from the building department next as a part of the staff presentation. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All
He's
right,
staff, town
So
staff.
let's
too.
go with that then.
Okay, hello, my name's,
Mike,
hold on. Okay,
Mike, there you
this is,
go.
yes, this is Michael
Go ahead and
Green.
introduce yourself for the people in this room too.
Excuse me?
Go ahead and introduce yourself for the people in this room here too.
Yes, my name's Michael Greenlee. I'm the building
You're-
official.
Okay. All
I'm
right,
the
can you turn
building
it up?
official for the town of
We're not
Atherton.
getting enough volume in the room. Just a minute, Mike. All right, go ahead, Mike, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Michael Greenlee, building official for the town of Atherton. I've been the building official here for over 11 years. And this project, 78 Shear, I've never been on site. I've been by it. So, you know, I've never met the contractor or anybody on site. So I communicate with the inspector and what's going on out there. And this project's about a total of 8,000 total square foot. Started in October of 2017. And then the original CTL timeframe on that was October 19th, 2020. And then when COVID hit, We made adjustments back in 2020. Myself, city manager, and the city attorney, we came up with a COVID-19 CTL update to allow a little bit more time. And for this project, they got an additional 139 days to complete the project. So it went well beyond that. I believe it went like 450 days past the adjusted CTL. And then with COVID, this project started about 2 years and 4 months prior to COVID.
Hold on, Mike. Whatever you did before that got the volume up, just put it there and we'll listen to the double speakers. Yeah, that's a problem with the setup, Michael.
Okay.
Try it again, Mike. Do a test, Mike, so we can see what
Okay.
it sounds like. There you
Yes,
go.
can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. So go ahead.
Okay, so let me see where I left off here.
Well, yeah, and you can start where you left off because we heard the first part.
Yeah. Just give me a second here. So the project is about 452 days past the adjusted CTL. And then after reading the request from the applicant, going through all of it, and then the only one that really caught my attention actually far as approving some type of a refund was the structural steel and metal fabrication. I strongly feel that was definitely out of the owner's control. And it's unfortunate that he had to go through that. But my recommendation was a 4-month delay, which comes to about $121,000 out of the $250,000 that the applicant paid, that I recommend refunding the $121,000. I also sent in some, you'll see reports that I think Planning Commission was requesting. I did it 3 different ways. So if you have any questions on those, we'd be more than happy to help answer any questions that you have. So other than that, that's about all I have to say on that.
Michael, how did you come up with the 121? How did you come up with the reduced amount?
It's $1,000 a day penalty. I gave him 4 months. So if I
Got
took those 4 months, it was actually what, 30, 60, 70, 90, 121 days.
Okay, great. All right. Any other questions of staff and the commissioners?
Not here, thank you.
All right, great. Then we'll go ahead and hear from the applicant. Yeah, thank you for waiting.
So much.
Go ahead and introduce yourself for the record too.
My name is Sean Amiri. I'm one of the principals of Build Home Construction. My partner Sam is here
Thank you.
tonight. I wanted to thank Michael and Rada for staying along with us during this process because, never really been to too many planning commissions. So I appreciate that. I also wanted to appreciate the commission's time to hear to our request. This project started at the end of 2017. It's a very unique custom home. And I am very familiar with the ordinance that in 2006, the city adopted so that the new construction finishes in 36 months.
Right.
And so we planned to make sure this is done. We gave ourselves ample time to get this done. And there was some changes during during construction by the architect, but very minor. So in 2019, beginning of 2020, we got hit with COVID. Earlier on, one of the complications we came through was the steel issue. The company that we'd already worked with several times in the past, in the middle of the job, they went belly up. And and we wouldn't get delivery of the material that we ordered and paid for. And we had to keep waiting and waiting, and nothing happened. Finally, we went to court to sue them. We won that lawsuit. Unfortunately, they went bankrupt, and that lawsuit didn't really go anywhere,
Right.
just on the paper. So I really appreciate Mike giving us that 4 months credit for the time that we lost for that issue.
Right.
What we encountered that caused us delayed after that was, for the most part, COVID related. I appreciate the city of Atherton giving us that additional 4 months, because there was a period of time that city shut down and we couldn't work. So there was a 4 months credit or extension for the reason of COVID.
Mhm.
However, I'm here to tell you that, and I'm sure you know, that COVID didn't stop after 4 months.
Mhm.
What happened to us as construction people is still lingering on,
Mhm.
mostly because of material, mostly.
Mhm.
Labor to a certain degree, but mostly because of material. This particular job got hit right and left with material delivery. Our windows came.
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Oh,
Heard you.
Okay. Should I start from the beginning or?
no, just the past 2 minutes of what you submitted at the packet and talk about COVID.
Okay, in my appeal package, I submitted several items in there. There's 7 items in there that most of them has to do with COVID. It was COVID related. For example, our windows got in late. Our appliances got into us much later. The stone that we ordered, the tile that we ordered, any finished material that we ordered, for the most part, came in late. And a lot of it was needed for us to finish the home. Without, for example, without appliances or some appliances, we could not have had an inspection for the home, for the final inspection. We couldn't pass final inspection. So I actually put everything down and the timeline of when we ordered them, and tried to put invoices and signatures and copies of checks in there for you to take a look at. The one that I'd like to a little bit talk about is the staircase.
Yeah.
The staircase for this home was ordered from Italy. It was a very artistic, very beautiful staircase that was ordered and designed, and it was ordered at the end of 2019. And it was supposed to be shipped in 6 to 7 months later. On the Appendix D, I have yellow highlighted some of the messages that we've gotten back and forth between us and the manufacturer. And they were supposed to get this done in 6 to 7 months. Then comes beginning of 2020, they relate to us that the factory is closed because COVID, and the shipment is going to be a little later. Then another month, it was a couple of months later
Where was the location of the factory?
in Italy.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So, and Italy was really hit hard in the beginning of COVID.
Right.
I'm sure
Yes.
if you remember. So,
Right.
so finally, in October of 2020, which is almost a year later after that the order was placed, they said they're going to ship this out in a couple of months. it was finally, it got to the port in Oakland in December of 2020, 14 months later after we ordered it. But the port, the shipment could not get out. It took a while for it to get out. Meanwhile, the installers were supposed to come from Germany. And they relate to us that they can't, because of COVID, they can't get a visa. So we try to request a special work visa from them from the immigration, but that failed.
Right,
So finally, they decided that they can't come in and we need to find somebody in this country to put together that staircase. It is an artistic piece. It's not something that I could go in front of Home Depot and grab somebody and go put that staircase together. We looked everywhere, everywhere in this country. And finally, we found a very small company, one person who's extremely artistic that took on the job. And he started it in beginning of 2021. He finished by beginning of 2022, almost a year. It took him almost a year to build it. I included some pictures of the process
right.
of what that staircase looked like. Without that staircase being completed, and we could not secure a final inspection. You can't go up and down the stairs, but you can't get a fire inspection, you can't get a final inspection. So that is one of the things. I mean, all the 7 things that I put in that package, that's one of them. And I understand that the city, that residents of the city requested that construction be done within 36 months. But we are talking about a very special circumstances. It's not your everyday garden variety case. We didn't have a shutdown at any time. We kept on working. The delay wasn't because we didn't pay our subcontractors or employees, so that's why they didn't show up to work. We didn't have a shutdown by the city saying that you have done something wrong and we need to shut you down. So we've basically done everything by the book. We didn't cause any nuisance to any neighbors during this time. We didn't block the street. Mike noted that he never came by to the construction site while he was building, but Adam, the inspector, was there, and he has a really good relationship with Sam, who's the inspector who was our person on site. And we did everything possible to try to get this job done as soon as possible. For us, this job was a loss because it was supposed to get done in 3 years.
Right.
It got done in 4.5 years. And for us to get, I mean, there are some really big companies that could, for them, $120,000 or $130,000 is just some chain. For us, we are a small company. To try to finish this project with almost a loss and get slapped by $250,000 penalties is a bit unfair. At least that's what I think. So I'm here to ask you to please, we do appreciate every consideration that you've given us. And second, please do consider looking at our package and understand that delays were almost all COVID related. There's nothing else we could do about it.
So the applicant, the homeowner's not paying the penalty?
Okay, the homeowner thinks that they have a contract with us and we should have finished, and no, they're not paying. So we are basically taking the brunt of that.
Okay, all right. All right, thank you. Any questions of? It was the package you provided was very thorough. So I
Thank you.
appreciate the homework on that.
Sorry, maybe it's a bit overdone, but
No,
right.
no, it was good. It was very good. It was very good. It showed, there were some choices that the homeowner made that made it very, very unique at every level, exterior, interior, every aspect of it was a corner case of difficulty for sure. I went by it and I went, boy, even the roof connection to the outside wall. Hopefully it's just enough over so it doesn't leak down the inside. You thought of that.
The home is finished and we're very proud of it,
Yeah.
and I wish, we didn't have to go through this and we could finish on time, but the reality is it is what it is. It finished in 4.5 years instead of 3.
All right. Thank you. Any questions, Perry? Nancy,
Yeah,
Perry?
I have a question for the applicant. Sir, how do I correctly pronounce your name?
Okay, my name is Sean Amiri. Last
Sean
name is Amiri.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for your presentation. The stairs were completed in what month of 2022?
Can you get him up?
The stairs, but I believe were completed in about February of 2022, the February or March 2002. So based on the invoices that we made payments to the JT Stair Company, my recollection is right around March time or so.
Okay, and then when was the final given?
You remember when the final was given?
Harry's in blue up there. He's the one up there in blue. He's the one talking to you.
Yeah, the final was given maybe a couple of months later. However, what I like to point out too is that the staircase was one of the challenges that we're dealing with. Appliances was another one that it just took a long time for them to come in. We were doing landscaping and hardscaping. We ordered stone from Peninsula Building Material, and the stone that we ordered took months later for it to show up. It's a lot of stonework, and I mean, it wasn't just one thing. So again, we've made every effort to try to finish this project, but finish it properly, not just try to finish it and not do the proper job. So.
Okay, and last question, sir. I just want to be very clear. If there is a penalty assessed,
Yeah.
if there is, you and your company are the sole parties responsible, would be.
That is
full
correct.
company responsible. Okay,
Yes.
no other questions, Eric.
Were you the general contract for the whole thing, or were you were
Yes,
the
whole
general?
thing. So Sam and I, we're built on construction, we're a general contractor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All
So
right.
the material and the plan and the design came from the architect, not us.
Right.
We just implemented.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Nancy, anything?
No, I think it was very well stated. I feel very sorry for those parties involved.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for your time.
Thank you for being so
Thank you.
thorough. Do you need anything? No. Okay, good. All right. Is there anyone else to speak on this item? I don't see anybody. Is there anybody that I can't see on the screen here? Hold on, let me look. There's nobody I can't see. All right, good. So with that, then I'll go ahead and close the public comment section and bring it back for discussion and action as appropriate with the commission. So I've got a question for Michael. Mike, you're on mute. So Mike, I kind of thought that the penalty was supposed to be on the homeowner and not on the companies involved in it, since they don't spec with the requirements for their work. Well, how does that work normally?
It's, a lot of times it is the contractor. I've had a few times that, well, just recently, I think I had 2 or 3 that it was the homeowner, and the homeowner actually forfeited $250,000 3 different times on 3 different projects. But when I send letters out, send them out to the owner and to the contractor, both of them.
Yeah. So the issue I'm having is that the contractor gets stuck with whatever the spec is. And the spec on this house, when I looked at it, was incredibly corner case at every step of the way. I mean, as you saw the exterior and everything, when you went out and looked at it, I mean, the exterior is one off, the interior is one off. The timing of when it hit COVID and the type of material and where it came from, it wasn't like, I don't think the general contractor didn't wake up and say, hey, why don't we go to Italy for the staircase? And why don't we go to Italy for the stone? And why do, so I'm torn on this one, not from the standpoint of the timeline, because the timeline obviously is too long. And the reason we have the timeline in there is so that it doesn't create impact. And after driving around the neighborhood on this, just for this one meeting, I probably saw 25 construction sites. So if you're, and I drove up on Sutherland Drive behind 2 double truck dump trucks, so, carrying, that would carry dirt out with two huge trailers. I'm sitting there going like, what is this doing to the street, let alone how do they drive up here? So, I mean, the impact in general around town is significant. I understand that. But I'm having a problem with the situation where the spec created the problem. If this were a more normal house, I'd say, okay, you should have thought about, how to get it here, but every aspect of this house is so one-off that coming into COVID, it would be, we've had situations where somebody changed the spec all the time and changed the requirements the homeowner did. And then I'm saying, okay, that made the thing happen. What made the issue happen on this is the requirement of the homeowner, and the homeowner's not paying the penalty on this. Is there any way we can have the homeowner here for this penalty and not the contractor?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, someone's liable for it. I'd have to look and see exactly how the ordinance is written, but this has never been an issue. Even I've been in front of the planning commission. It's been a few years, and it's never been, the contractor actually came in and had to pay the penalty. So now this is new on me that you brought that up, but it's a good point. I understand what you're saying. But as far as is there anything that we can do? No, I don't think so. That's something I'd maybe have to talk to the city attorney or something about.
Yeah, so here's
Or
the
the
thing.
ordinance or they relook at the ordinance and for verbiage and rewrite it in certain ways. Yeah, because a lot of it is on the homeowner.
Right.
And it's not just, I got projects that 30,000 square feet finalized in less than 3 years, very custom.
Right.
I got homes that right now are going through the same thing as 78 Shear, very detailed, very custom, that have final and some that are in penalty right now. So it's hard to say. And it's unfortunate that the homeowner, because I don't think the ordinance specifies exactly, though it is the homeowner's responsibility.
Right. Well, here's the difficulty I have in general on all these that come up, is that the ultimate general contractor is the homeowner. The person who specs, I want a 30,000 square foot house for the two of us. The person who says, I've got to have this tile that's only available in northern Italy in this one area. That is on the architect and the homeowners, the architect recommending the homeowner who says, hey, yeah, that'd be really cool. Let's go to that part of Italy and get this. So we've seen this sort of crop up again and again and again. And one of the reasons I think it comes up is because the homeowner is not ultimately aware of the fact that they are ultimately responsible for the spec. And they are also responsible for the management. So at some point during this project, the homeowner could have said, this general contractor is not delivering. I'm going to go ahead and change general contractors. That was their prerogative. Their prerogative was, I'm going to change the spec on the stairs to finish the project on time. They didn't choose to do that. They said, I want this custom stairwell. All right. They didn't change the spec on the exterior of the house, which had to have been a very difficult spec with the steel that's out there and the way it's laid on the house. So I personally am having a problem penalizing the general contractor on this one. And as you say, Michael, coming up with a strategy that would clarify responsibility on this. If the homeowner is not satisfied with a penalty at the end of a project, they can turn around and sue the contractor or the vendor or the provider, or the provider that the staircase person said, hey, we're going to give it there by that period of time, and these are things beyond our control. Well, fine. So what are your options? Find somebody in the United States that can install your stuff. I don't know. I'll listen to the other commissioners on this one, but I'm having a problem approving even this penalty. But I'll listen to others. Maybe they can inform me better.
Yeah, Eric. So So if we impose the penalty against the homeowner,
Yes,
the first thing the homeowner is going to do is turn around and sue the general contractor.
that's correct.
So that doesn't really help the plight of Mr. Amiri.
Yeah,
So here's the way I come down on this. I'm inclined to allow the appeal and not impose any penalties for the following reason. If it is accurate, and Michael, you tell me if this is true, if it is accurate that the stairs were not completed until March 2022, and that the final was granted shortly thereafter, that strongly suggests that it was the stairs that were the blocking point to get this project done on time. It sounds, based on the appeal package, that there were circumstances on the stairs that were beyond the general contractor's control. So for that timing reason, I'd vote to allow the appeal and not impose any penalty on the general contractor. Michael, is that true? Is it true that there was only like a 2-month gap?
It wasn't even that. The work was completed on the stairs March of 2022. His permit was final on April 19th, 2022.
Okay.
So that's,
Mike,
Yeah,
if I can interject,
who's this?
this is the code enforcement officer for the town of Atherton.
Yes, okay.
My name is Lisa Marie Daly, and I'm online tonight with y'all. I know that it's something that we would have to check with Mona, but looking at the actual municipal code 15.40.190, it states in section A, if a property owner fails to complete construction by the applicable time limit established in this chapter, the property owner shall be subject to the following penalties payable to the town. And then it lists the table. It does not specify the contractor in there. It does specify the property owner, and then any of the fees shall be assessed to them. As I said, that's just from reading the actual code and the verbiage of the code as it stands right now. That's how it is written. Mike is correct. We usually assess to the contractor as well as any violations that occur on the property, not just in relation to the CTL, but any municipal code violations such as parking before and after hours. We send them to the contractor on duty, and sometimes that contractor will forward the fees or their costs to the property owner, just depending on how their contract is. But we do not get involved in whatever their civil contract is at the beginning of all this with the engineer and the contractors. But the verbiage of the code does say the property owner. That's something that I think would need to be verified by Mona and by the city attorney and their group to specify on that. But that's how I'm reading it from the code enforcement side.
Okay, so that's, I thank you. That helped. That was very
Lisa.
helpful. That's very helpful, Lisa. And that also reinforces what Perry said in terms of the outcome. Perry, I'm fine with that. That would be a 0 penalty on this one. Is that correct?
That would be my vote. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, and Michael, I know that'll hurt budget reasons and things like that, but there's
No,
a
it
couple
doesn't.
things, the couple things about this is that I like. One, that does, going forward, that could clarify the methodology we use for notifying the penalty, rather than having the contractor just saying, hey, it's yours, or the owner saying, hey, it's yours. And I know that could create some more, under normal conditions, create some problems with this. For the only people making money on the whole project will be the lawyers involved. But it is up to the homeowner to understand the responsibility of the choices they make to create a problem or create issues. And it's not just one of those things where they just say, hey, I wanted it, you said you could do it, and it's your problem. So I'm okay with that. But Nancy, you want to say whatever you
Now,
think?
this is a different situation than we've run into in my experience here, but I think Perry has a good point. And I certainly feel for both the contractor and the homeowner in this case. And when they struck their deal originally, if there were any changes that caused a delay, that would obviously be on the back of the homeowner. But if it's an unavailability of materials, contractors do have to face that situation and plan accordingly and charge accordingly. So I'm kind of up in the air on this, but I'll go along with what Perry suggested, and that'll save a lot of problems to both of them.
Right. All right, so, Michael, are you comfortable with that solution on this one? No, I don't want to make this a precedent for anything that you have to deal with, but I do want to make it so that you're comfortable with the rationale for this one if we went the way Perry suggested.
No, absolutely. I'm comfortable with it.
All right, thank you very much. Then Perry, you want to make a motion?
Yeah, so I move that the applicant's appeal be granted and that there be no penalty assessed on the project, whatever the address is.
I'll do the second. Any comment on that motion? Are we ready for the roll call? All right, roll call, please.
Commissioner Narensec,
Yes.
Chair Lamb,
Chair Lane, yeah.
oh, Chair Lane,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah. Yes,
Commissioner Lerner,
Yes,
the motion passes.
all right, and Lamb and Gabby aren't here, so let's just go officially on the record with that.
Mr. Amiri, make sure you get a lawyer next time before you sign the contract.
Good. All right, thank you. And I'm sorry that you had to go through all that to get to this point, but I think you helped us clarify some things we're going forward too, and I hope that helps your company, and sorry for all the problems. And stay healthy. All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Okay. Have a good holiday. Unwrap your gifts slowly, they last longer that way. All right, item B. This is this going to be continued on the Menlo College?
That's correct.
The-
And the item 4B for Menlo College Master Plan update has been noticed and the agenda is in front of us, but the applicant is, there was a conflict with the schedule.
Mhm.
And the request is from staff that we recommend that you continue this item to January meeting.
All right, good.
Um,
I'll move to make the continuing of this of the item 4B to the January meeting. Second? Nancy,
Second,
good. All right, Perry seconds. All right, roll call, please.
Chair Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Narensec,
yes.
Commissioner Lerner,
yes,
the motion passes, Commissioner Conce and Lamb are absent.
All right, very good. Then we'll go to 98 Sutherland Drive. And this would be for a tree protection zone or request and some, you're gonna fill us in on some requests for removals too, right?
That's correct.
All right, we'll go ahead and start with the staff overview on item 4C.
Item 4C, I'm going to share my screen. We have the town arborists in with us tonight, and we do have the applicant on Zoom.
It's on the floor. It's on the floor. No, it's on the floor. You're missing it. It's on the floor. Pardon me.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Somebody came in, the last applicant came in and with looking for his phone. Go ahead.
I'm sharing screen to zoom in on the particular project and the TPZ exception and to what you see in front of you is the site plan. The rectangle shown in blue is a proposed ADU, and the project's location being here is impacting two trees shown in green stars. The TPZ exception area for these two that is impacting the structure of the ADU is shown in blue on this map. Town arborists met with the applicants multiple times, and planning teams have met with the applicants for various iterations for alternative location and possibilities. This seems to be the right spot for the ADU. However, it is surrounded by the trees. The planning commission is, the applicant is also requesting removal of the two trees shown in the two stars. The town arborist has reviewed the applicant's arborist report and also paid a visit to the site. There has been the exploratory trenching to give her the information she needs. She's with us tonight to speak about her recommendation, and I can summarize. She approves the TPZ exception of these two tree number 73 and 74. She also approves removal of one of the trees, but she denies the removal of the other cedar tree. And I would like to hand over the mic to Sally to speak more about this item. Planning staff is backing up the town arborist report and the recommendation at this point to the planning commission.
All right, Sally, you want to go?
Yeah, so I felt I could recommend the two TPZ zones because the one tree is across the driveway. And the other tree is further away and down the slope. There's also an existing platform in the location that they want to build this. So you'll see on the plan, so the tree over to the right, the green star, that's across the driveway. And then the other one is down the slope. And then I don't know if you can see on the plan, but there is an existing platform here
Yeah.
with the new ADU. I think they only found one root, which was a 2-inch root. So they didn't find any large roots when they did their exploratory trenching. They also, the square footage of the ADU was larger, but to comply and make it no less than 6 times, they made the ADU smaller.
And that's the 6 times is because of tree 77 or because of one of the green trees, one of the trees that are green?
I think it was for tree 70, the one to the far right.
Okay, 74 or whatever it was. Okay.
Yeah.
All
The
right.
tree, the tree I denied is 10 times away, so they don't need a request for that one. The reason I approved the one tree is because it's most of the foliage is on the top of the tree. It's top heavy. The vigor was less than the tree that I didn't approve. It's pretty crowded over there. It's also right next to the driveway on a slope.
Yeah.
So I felt that one could be approved.
So I had a question on tree 77, the one did you want to retain? It looks like it's awfully close to the house, the existing house. And it doesn't look like it's going to be anything other than sort of a top heavy tree because no branches can actually grow down low because of the house. So it looks to me like that's a poorly placed tree as it exists.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't usually if they're going to have a reason because it's too close to the house, they would have to show some type of damage to the house. So in this case, I just didn't feel they had a strong argument to remove the tree. But of course, you can always, if you visited the site, you would see that it is close to the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what I'm thinking about is it's not there's two things about it. The proximity to the house, which is something that in coming fire codes and things like that is an issue. But I'm also looking at whether the tree will ever actually be healthy because of the way it has to be shaved over up halfway to make it so that it doesn't impact anything on the ground, just to have a top that's sitting there looking like a tree, to have the bottom look like a stick. It's never going to be a healthy tree, even if it's existing okay, right? It would never be able to have a full balance to it. Is that correct?
I mean, it's more balanced than the tree that I approved, but yeah, they also pruned it up, and which
Yeah.
is always the best for the trees either, because then they're less balanced. So
Yeah.
I-
Yeah,
Like as it's standing there today, it's something I wouldn't typically approve.
okay. All right. Any other questions did you have anything else, Sally, that you wanted to cover on that?
No, that's all. In this picture, you can see the platform that's existing there with the fake grass on top.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that kind of grass is impervious, right? I mean, the water flows through that, right? So it doesn't stop the water from going to the roots, right?
It's supposed to, but I mean, it still has it's not as permeable as you would think.
Right, that's why I asked, because I know some of them aren't as free flowing as they advertise.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions of staff?
No, thank you.
All right, then I'll go ahead and open up the public comment section to, we'll start with the applicant. Where is the applicant?
Hi,
Hi,
this
Are
is
you-
Maurice Lombardo with Taylor Lombardo Architects.
oh, there you are.
Hi,
and I can
hi,
see you right
everybody.
now.
Love the
Hi.
tie, by the way.
Oh.
Happy holidays.
Happy-
Yeah, no, I think Sally did a great job at presenting this, and we had really done a lot of research on this and looked at every possible site for the ADU, and we think this is a perfect site location for it. And I agree too, those two cedar trees would be great if we could remove both of them, because they're not, there's a lot of vegetation, a lot of trees already around this property. And in the elimination of those two trees, I don't think would impact just the amount of landscaping that's there right now. And we certainly would be up for adding additional landscape beyond the driveway there on the other side toward the fence. But we really did a lot of work on this, on analyzing it. We think the ADU looks good, and with the removal of those two trees, I think it'd be a benefit for the ADU.
And this is Fanny. I also work on the project with Maurice. Just want to add, one of the main reason why we suggested or asked for the removal, the cedar tree removal, is so that it gave us a little more room to create a better landscaping in terms of screening for the occupants of the ADU. Right now, it's really hard to do anything other than low-level shrubbery type of stuff. Any kind of mid-sized planting, it's kind of just getting crowded out by all the existing vegetation around there. So we're just trying to kind of clear up the space a little bit and help with the pool house maintenance issue, because it does require quite a bit of maintenance. And I think the owner and the previous owner has been doing that, but it is very close to the existing pool house. So it will be very helpful.
All right. Any questions of the applicant?
No, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak on this item? I'm not seeing people waving or popping off of mute. So, all right, with that then, I will go ahead and close the public comment section and bring it back for the commission for discussion and action as appropriate.
I have no questions or comments unless anyone else does. I'm prepared to offer the formal motion that's proposed in the papers by staff.
Okay. All right, Nancy, anything on this?
No, I think it's well stated and well planned and decided as far as removing one and not the other. So I'm okay with that. I'm a little distracted by Eric's tie, however.
I'll turn it off.
Oh, no, don't do that. I shouldn't have said anything. I like it.
All right, go. I can go with that. I still think that 377 is in the wrong spot for this situation, but I know that we take 3 to make things move ahead, and you can always come back and ask for 3 removed, like if that gets to be a problem. So, but since there's only three people here, we have to have a unanimous vote, or you can't get any motion forward. So I'm going to go ahead with it so that you can move ahead. All right, so Perry, you want to make your motion?
I move that the planning commission approve the exception to the tree protection zone for 1 51-inch heritage oak, tree 73, to 5.8 times, and 1 40-inch heritage oak, tree 74, to 7 times the trunk diameter to allow for the construction of a new ADU at 98 Sutherland Drive. The request to remove one 16-inch deodar cedar tree 75 is approved, and one 18-inch deodar cedar tree 77 is denied based on the recommendation of the town arborist.
Nancy, you're the second on this.
Yes, I'll second that.
All right, we have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Narnsec,
Yes.
Commissioner Lerner,
Yes,
Chair Lane.
Yes.
This motion passes. Commissioner Conce and Lamb are absent. Thank you.
All right, good luck with the project and I hope it works out okay and have a great holiday.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays, everybody.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item 4D, a special structures permit at 211 Stockbridge. And we'll go ahead and same format. We'll start with the staff report.
Chair Lady, if I may, can I just test the echo on the mic after this item and then move on to 4E and 4C?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we just check?
We have an echo in the room, but I can never tell if it's my head or it's a microphone.
So if one of the commissioners can speak, I want to make sure that the echo doesn't come out of this speaker.
All
The
right.
payments in France stay mainly on the plants.
there's a poet among us.
Well, the rains in Spain stay mainly on
There you go.
Oh, man, keep his day job, please.
I wish we were technical experts. I'm sorry.
We're still debugging here. Thank you, applicants for
Just
patience on
Make
this.
it a system and ask if they can hear us. Can you hear us on the hybrid Zoom? It froze. Okay, let's not waste time.
All right, we ready to go?
Yes, sorry about that.
All right, can you hear us now? On the phone, can you hear us? Nobody's waving. So that means they can't hear us.
I can hear you fine.
Okay, fine. All right, go ahead, then go ahead and go for the staff report on item 4D. 211 Stockbridge.
Item 4D 211 Stockbridge is currently with the planning commissioners tonight to request for a special structures permit. The project is for a new 2,658 single-family residence with a garage and JADU, a detached garage and new accessory structures. Tonight, we are discussing specifically the rear side wall height. Normally, without the special structures permit, the required height for this required setback is 60 feet. The requirement of the special structures permit enables the applicant to go taller if they provide for more, if they provide more setback, meaning if they're setback way inside, they can gain some height. The standard ratio that the municipal code recommend is giving the applicant is if the sidewall height needs to go taller by 1 foot, they have to provide for over 5 feet increase in the rear setback. The maximum allowable setback without maximum allowable sidewall height is 22 feet. With the 60-foot required setback. However, the applicant is seeking 27.5 to 27.1, which is about 5 foot taller than the maximum allowable sidewall height. They are complying with the required increased setback. And you can see that increased setback that is allowed on, basically, I'm talking about the increase in the sidewall is for this wall, and the renderings below have more details. This is a conceptual rendering of the 22-foot sidewall without the special structures permit, meaning This is the cap on the 22-foot height sidewall. And the roof typologies are changing between the upper level and the lower level, as we can see. If the planning commission grants the special structures permit, this is the rendering of the home, which has gable roofs that match the lower floor. When we visited the site and we are looking at the neighboring properties, one thing that came up was a requirement for if the planning commission recommends the higher sidewall, the staff is requiring that the applicant submit a landscape screening plan, because this property line at the far end has visibility to the neighbors. The applicant has provided for our review a landscape screening plan. It's part of this item's attachment. However, town arborist is recommending that the applicant work with her and revise the screening requirement to conform with what the heritage tree ordinance requirement is. The current screening plan proposes 50-gallon shrubs. The required is 24-inch box. And staff concurs with the town arborist review. And based on what you see and what you've heard, staff is recommending that we approve this rear sidewall increase to maintain the architectural integrity of this design. And that ends my presentation. We have the applicants here with us on the call, and that's it.
All right, great. Do you have any questions of staff on this one?
No, thank you.
All right, good. All right, but then we'll hear from the applicant or the representative on next. So I'll open up the public comment section. And
Good evening, Mr. Chair and members of the commission. My name is Steve Simpson. I'm the architect for the
All right.
project. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes,
Yes.
Steve, thank you. Brett.
I think staff did a great job of explaining it. I just want to maybe expand or reiterate. What we're really asking for here is just to change to those two elements, the roof line. The walls don't get any taller and the house doesn't get any taller with this proposal. It's just, we kind of developed the house originally like this, and we had kind of, I guess, a different interpretation of the architectural projection zoning aspect, and found out that staff's interpretation was a little different. So in order to conform, we changed those two elements to a hip roof, but we'd really like to do the gable roof because it just ties the whole house together better. So, but the overall house does not get taller. The walls don't get taller. The ceilings don't get taller. Nothing else gets taller. It's just a change from a hip roof design to a gable roof on those two elements.
Yep,
I'm happy to answer any questions anybody may have about that.
I don't have any questions. Any questions?
No questions, thank you.
All right, great. All right, anyone else here to speak on this item? All right, no, I don't see anybody popping up. Go ahead and close the public comment section and bring it back to the commission for discussion and action as appropriate. This one looks pretty straightforward to me. The setback takes care of it along with the screening, so I'm fine with it.
Me too.
Yeah. All right, you want to make the motion, Perry?
Yeah, I move that the planning commission approve the special structures permit to allow increased vertical sidewall heights of 27 feet 6 inches and 27 feet 1 inch at the rear of the new proposed residence at 211 Stockbridge Avenue, based on the findings enumerated in the staff report, subject to the conditions of approval.
I'll second. Any comments on the motion? No, so I'll go ahead and ask for a roll call.
Commissioner Narensec,
Yes.
Chair Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lerner.
Yes,
Right.
This motion passes, Commissioner Concy and Commissioner Lambert.
All right, very good, Steve. Thanks for waiting, and thanks for the quick presentation, and hope you have a good project.
Thank you very much. Really
Big
appreciate your
hole.
time. Thank
Big
you.
hole there to fill right now. I went out there, it looks like a lot of digging.
Yeah, yeah, we're moving forward, but thank you for this. This helps a lot.
Great. Item 4E is the is a tree protection zone exception at 75 Fairview Avenue. So we'll go ahead with the same format. We'll start with the staff overview.
Thank you, Chair Lane. This is a TPZ exception at 75 Fairview Avenue. This is an incoming project for a brand new residence that is going to be this is an incoming project for an ADU. I'm sorry, my bad.
Right. what I thought.
The ADU proposed is shown and hatched in the plan in front of you. And the tree protection zones are for these two trees as highlighted as we see it. I would like to invite Town Arborist Sally to speak more about this project because she has had more detailed discussion with the applicant. We do have the applicant on the call too.
All right. Very good. Sally, take it away. You might be on mute,
Okay.
Sally.
Can you
There you
hear
go.
me?
Yep, now we can.
About a year ago, you looked at one similar to this one. And it's for two TPZ exceptions for tree number 2 and tree number 12. The existing house is closer to where these two large redwoods are located. These redwoods are pretty big. So I feel like it would be hard to build anything without asking for an exception. And again, the existing house was approximately 10 feet closer to the trees than what they're asking for. The applicant will do shoring in the locations at 6 times. So they don't have to dig closer than that. And if I recall, underneath the attached ADU, light well number 6, only one root of 2 inches was found. And then in the other location, no roots over 2 inches were found. So I think overall, because of the location of the existing house and because of the techniques they're going to use, which I think Sean can talk further about, and because the trees are so large, I felt like it was okay to approve this at 6 times. Typically, I wouldn't approve something at 6 times unless there was an existing structure.
All right, great. Any questions of Sally?
Thank you.
All right, great. Then I'll go ahead and open up the public comment section. We'll hear from the applicant or the representative.
All right, hi, my name's Sean Lopes, project architect here, representing our client. Thank you, Sally, for your presentation. To follow up on that, this is for a new single family residence, including a basement as well as an attached ADU. So the first thing we do when laying out our site plans is kind of do a TPZ overlay. And the first thing we noticed is that these large redwoods take up majority of the front portion of the property. So at that point, about a year ago, we met with Sally and discussed using the existing home as the measuring stick for our TPZ distances. So when creating the project, we looked at utilizing an attached garage in the existing location of the attached garage to further alleviate any additional development around the roots. And then along the attached ADU, we're looking at actually setting the building back 10 feet back from the front property line and about 6 feet in from the side property line to actually alleviate the root impact on tree number 12. And lastly, we're utilizing the existing driveway footprint, and we will be installing some geogrid details to, again, help alleviate future movement of the driveway and give the roots for those tree number 2 some more breathing room as well.
All right, John.
If you have any other questions, I'm here to answer them.
All right, thank you. Good presentation. Any questions?
No
All
question.
right. Is there anyone else here to speak on this item? Got a lot of watchers tonight and no speakers on that. Okay, good. Then we'll go ahead and close the public comment section and bring it back to the commission for discussion and action appropriate. I'm fine with this one. This looks pretty straightforward.
Me too.
All right, I'll go ahead and make the motion. Nancy, you got anything on this one?
No, I think it is straightforward and I'm in favor of it.
All right, you want to make the motion or you want me to?
You go ahead.
All right, good. I move that the planning commission find the exception of the tree protection zone TPZ for the 155-inch heritage redwood tree number 2 to 6 times and 148-inch heritage redwood tree number 12 to 6 times the tree's diameter to allow for the construction of a new single-family residence and attached garage and ADU at 75 Fairview Avenue. This project would not be contrary to the purpose and the intent of the general plan and for reasons outlined in the staff report. And the commission approved the TPZ exception subject to the conditions as listed in the draft TPZ exception certificate. With that, we have a roll call, please. Oh, wait a minute. I'll take a second. Who's seconding on this one?
Second.
Kathy? All right, Perry, you're seconding. Roll call, please.
Chair Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Narnsec,
Yes.
Commissioner Lerner.
Yes.
This motion passes. Commissioner Conce and Commissioner Lamb are absent.
All right, Sean, thank you very much for waiting and you have a good project.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, item 4E, that needs to be continued. Is that correct?
Yes, item 4E is recommended for continuation. Staff did not have enough documentation from the applicants for us to present a full analysis to the commission.
And it was on the agenda already because you thought it might.
It didn't come to us in time after multiple reviews. We did work with the applicant very closely.
Okay.
And town arborist wasn't able to make a recommendation, so I couldn't
Right.
write my own.
That's fine. I'll move the continuation. You want it to next month's meeting? Is that what you want it to?
Yes, I wanted to move to recommended to move to the next January hearing.
All right, good. Then I'll go ahead and make the motion to continue to the next meeting. I need a second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Chair Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Narnsec,
Yes.
Commissioner Lerner.
Yes.
This motion passes. Commissioner Conce and Commissioner Lamb are absent.
All right. All right, with that, then that's the end of the item 4 list. Is that correct?
That's the end of the public hearing, yes.
Then I'll go ahead, go with the staff reports. Anything in the staff report that we need to know about?
Yes, thank you, Chair Lane. Staff wants to present the schedule for next year for the planning commission schedule.
Yeah, did I see that in the packet? I didn't see that in the packet. The packet I got didn't have that in it.
So at the packet, it's printed back to back. It's at the far, and I can hand over I
Okay,
can open it up on the screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Share it on the.
I didn't see it in there. That's interesting. Let me look. Yeah, the back-to-back thing doesn't quite work on some of these sometimes. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Because I'm looking at the last page of the packet I have. And it's not in the packet I have. Did you all have it?
No, I don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. This was not in the packet I had. It's the 25th of January, the 22nd of March, 26th of April, 24th of May, 28th of June. So this is everything that's normal on this, except December 13th is a week later than we had done in the past, but we're doing that because of conflicts on, just like this year, we assume that there'll be a conflict.
Yes.
Okay.
Will you see that we all get that?
Yes.
Yes.
I will email them to you, and I have it open. It's part of tonight's published agenda. And it's under staff reports under the planning commission meeting schedule. And that's the attachment. I will email that to all the commissioners.
Yeah, just email it out to them.
Yes.
All right, But they didn't come in the printed version for whatever reason.
Okay.
All right, so I'll make the motion to accept the planning commission meeting schedule as presented. Do I have a
Second.
Have they moved and seconded? Roll call, please.
Chair Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Nancy,
Yes.
Commissioner Lerner,
Yes,
the motion passes, Commissioner Ponce and Lamb are absent.
All right. All right, anything else on the staff report?
Yes, just to talk about the schedule for next year, just wanted to update the commission. So we as staff will be updating the ADU ordinance, and that will be going to the planning commission in January and likely to council in March. The housing element is going, our team, they're still working on the housing element, and the city council is going to have a study session tomorrow. And then I also just wanted to remind the council that, or the commission, that the commission will have to be back in person starting March of 2023 to be being in compliance with AB 2449. The assistant city manager / city clerk Anthony Suber sent out a memo to all the council members and commissioners about AB 2449.
Right. I was thinking it was January that it was started, but it's March, huh?
So the law goes into effect in January, but the meetings need to be in person starting March.
Okay, got it. All right, I didn't catch the nuance. All right, anything else?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. And then there's no big projects coming for the first quarter of the year that we need to be aware of coming. No big plan. There could be the ADU. Okay, all right, good. I always like to look ahead at least a quarter as we come in a new year, just so we get our stocking stuffed appropriately. All right,
We have the Menlo College report that is
Yeah.
continued, and we have these. the
yeah, those are
TPCs.
normal. Yeah, they're normal, but nothing on annual. There's no annual big plan or anything like that, other than whatever happens on the housing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, commissioners report. The only thing I have is you guys send me your home address and Santa might drop one of these off at your doorstep.